Can't get loose. It looks like life has come to a halt. Everything has stopped. You're looking for a miracle, but it doesn't seem a miracle is going to occur. I call this a pod. I call this a closed faucet. I'm going to teach you how to open up this faucet and to get out of that pod. I'll be right back.
On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Abundant Life Cathedral Church, the church of tomorrow today. A ministry that is building the people that shape the world.
Welcome. If you're watching this by rebroadcast, it's just the same as if you're watching it by, live, just like, we're here now. If you're watching it by rebroadcast, here's what you do. Share it with a friend. Shares are some of the most important things you can do. Just letting somebody else see it and say, hey, I want you to see it. If you might be sharing it as a watch party or sharing it with another group of people, especially another group of people. Share it. It makes a difference to us. We like it. And if you wanted your comments, hey, you can make your comments here. If we say something that encourages you, or you hear a truth or something just hit your spirit and you just kind of say, oh, that's a good one. Let me know. Thumbs up, let me know. That's a like. You can also like it, or you can say, hey, that was great. Oh, I want to know more, or whatever it is. Comments are totally welcome. I love hearing from you. I can't see them while we're doing it, but I definitely will go back and look at what's going on. If you're not in the city of Houston, let me know what city you're from. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say a shout out and a hello to those who let me know what was it last week? Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Cleveland. I know my family's there. Massachusetts. Hey, Massachusetts. And California. Hey, California. We were just there visiting in California. I did a little message there in California that was so fantastic with New Christ Memorial out there with Dr. Sandra Kraft. So we just loved being with them last week. Not physically, it was virtual. And of course, make sure you hit that like button because that's going to make a difference. I'm Ed Montgomery. They call me Dr. Ed. Welcome to our sanctuary. I call this our sanctuary because, of course, we're online, but you've let us into your home, into your house, and into your heart. Thank you so much. Whoever you're watching with, thank you so much for being a part of this. ALC, you'll hear us talk about ALC. It stands for Abundant Life Center, Abundant Life Cathedral. And what we're all about is just three things. I'm here to help you discover your purpose, grow your faith, and enjoy the journey. That's it. Discover your purpose, grow your faith, and enjoy the journey. Because there's no need of being on this place of faith and you're sour as a lemon. No, you got to enjoy this thing. And that's what I'm dedicating my life to. And every day I get up in the morning, the future, I want to help people enjoy this journey. I don't want to be a spiritual person that's always, I'm just, it's so hard in life, but we can do better. Okay? All right. So make sure you let us know. We've been doing this for over 40 years. Yes, this is our 40th anniversary year. I can't believe it. Yeah, I got the gray hairs to prove it. Yeah, 40 years. But I have enjoyed every moment. I enjoy being with people who have been with me. Some have been close to 40 years, some 30 years. I don't know how long some of you all been out there. 20 years, 15 years, 35 years. I know you're going to type in and let me know. But I have enjoyed being with people on this journey. So I'm just going to enjoy this journey. And the years that we got ahead of us, whatever we have ahead of us, we're going to enjoy it. I think that's going to be so important. So on this 40th anniversary, let us know. And I've been telling people, when you give online today, make sure you put something a little extra in that offering that's got the number 40 in it. Okay? Just to say, hey, because we see it and we know that's that 40th anniversary. All right? Okay. I'm going to go into something today, and I'm calling it about reimagining God. And I'm going to tell you how I'm working on this reimagine God. It's not to be blasphemous or try to come up with something deep. No, I just believe that when you go into a new era of life, new living, new understandings of culture, I believe that if we don't reimagine God, if we are doing the same thing concerning God as we were doing 50 years ago, but yet we're not growing. This series that I'm doing called Reimagine God is about three things. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? And is what you believe making a difference in your life? Or is what you believe working for you? Is it working for your life? Because if it's not working for your life, you got to go back to examine why you believe it and examine what you believe. We talk about what we believe almost every day. Do I believe that? Do I really believe that? What do I believe? You can examine that every day or every week. Why you believe it, I don't think you would do that every day. It'll drive you insane. You got to let what you believe marinate for a while to see whether or not this is working for me. And then when you say, is what I believe working for me, you don't examine that every day, every week, or every month. You take time. You put that aside. But every now and then you got to ask yourself the question, is this thing I believe here working for me? That's one of the things as a spiritual guide, I help a spiritual mentor, I help people understand, is that it's all right to ask that question. So, I'm going to take this back to the story of Moses. I love it. It goes back to the story of the 10 plagues, and no, everybody thinks, well, God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And then since he said he wasn't going to do it, then he turned around and Moses told God, and God slammed 10 plagues upon Pharaoh. The water turned to blood, frogs, gnats, flies, lice, boils upon man and beast, locust. What was it? Darkness and hail and fire, and ultimately the death of everything that was the firstborn, that they didn't know the secret of how that would pass over them. And so finally Pharaoh, the person who was in charge of the enslavement, let the people go. So a lot of people believe that's what the plagues were about, to force Pharaoh to let the people go. Now, yeah, it had something to do with it, but there's much more to this. Ancient texts and ancient secrets that have to do with our current life right here, right now. It's not just old Bible stories. It's secrets that we can look at what it's about our lives right now. How did the people get free? And here's the fun, and here is the actual point. I'm going to give you one of the number one points right up front. Those 10 plagues or whatever wasn't just for Pharaoh, for Moses to tell Pharaoh and to show Pharaoh how powerful God was. Those 10 plagues were just as much for the people or the children of Israel or the enslaved people as they were for Pharaoh, if not more so. The enslaved people of that time needed to have a mind change. before they could even come out of that era of slavery during Moses and Pharaoh. Listen, let me show you something. I call them symbols. I call them images that we use to explain certain things about our lives. Let me show the first one on the screen right now. It's a seashell. Everybody been on the beach or whatever, and you see a little seashell. Oh, there's something wonderful about a seashell, and you put it to your ear and you can hear. But if you look at this seashell, for those of you who live in the United States or where this company is, you know that this symbol is for the company Shell. In other words, if you saw this symbol on an exit sign and you were low on gas, you would get off that exit just like that, knowing you could get some gas, but you did not need to see the name Shell, S-H-E-L-L, Shell, gasoline, on the front, because the symbol said it all. Show me my second one. That should be the check mark. That's the check mark. Yeah, the check mark to say, hey, everything is okay. But as soon as you saw it, what did you see? What came to your mind? Nike. So you don't need to see the word Nike. All you need to see is that check mark. And over the years, it is proven. And you found out it's not just basketball shoes, but it's in golf, it's in swimming, it's in everything. Show me the third one. Nah, that song would, go to the golden arches, McDonald's trees. Oh my goodness. They don't even do that no more. I don't even know the new McDonald's song. That's McDonald's. That's the golden arches. That big yellow M. It doesn't stand for Montgomery. Would be nice if it did, but it doesn't. It stands for McDonald's. So when you see the golden arches, you know I'm going to get something to eat. It's something down the street. You don't even have to see the name McDonald's anymore. That's what it is. So you knew those three, the shell, the check mark, the Nike symbol, as well as McDonald's. Now, here's the fourth one. Throw it up there. Kabam! That's right. You say, but that's why would you throw that name up there? It's not a name. It's a symbol. Every time you read the word God in the Bible, it's not God's name. It's a symbol of how you think about God. What do you think about God? If you had one word you could call God, what would be that word? Type in if you want to, let me know. Just to show how diverse it is. Some people will type in love. Some people type in peace. Some people type in other words. Yeah. God brings a symbol. That word God brings out a lot of different understandings. Isn't it interesting how diverse the understandings are with this symbol? It's not just one definition. Isn't that something? So we know something. That's what it means. You can pull it off now. Listen. Here is something that goes all the way back almost 3,000 years. This is what we call the players here. Moses is one of the players in this story, almost 3,000 years old. You know, almost 3,000 years old is, might be a little less. I'm sure it's a little less, but I'm going to say 3,000 because it's a good number. 3,000 years old. 2,000 years would be the beginning of the New Testament. How that, when that particular point started. And probably about 700-800 years into the BC. I'm going to say 3,000. Imagine 3,000 years. We're in 2021, right? What would be 3,000 years? 21 is 1,000. Right? No. No, that's 100. 21 would be 1,000, right? Oh my goodness, y'all help me. I think I'm right. 3021 is 1,000. 4021 is 2,000 years. No. Wait. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Whatever it is, it's got your 20, and that the next one is you got 21 that goes into 100, and so 1,000 would be 3,000, and the next one would be 4,000. Right. So 2, 3, 4, 5. The year 5,021. 5,021 is 3,000 years ahead. Can you imagine 5,021? What's going to be happening in 5,021? Flying cars, probably way behind before the end. Who knows if we even be here? But if you can't imagine that, then you can't really imagine going back almost 3,000 years. How did those people think? Well, let me explain what happened here. First of all, you've got Moses, you've got Pharaoh, who was the head of Egypt at that particular time, a major player and a major powerhouse in the world, powerful country, one of the most powerful, if not the powerful entity in the world, the known world at that time. You had the Egyptian people. Then you had the children of Israel. The children of Israel meant the children of Jacob, or the descendants of Jacob. Jacob had been dead for about 400 years. So the children of Israel had been there in Egypt, and they weren't in slavery they weren't in slavery. They were working there, yeah, but they were enjoying their lives and things of that sort. But there came along a Pharaoh that was not connected with the Joseph, who was the son of Jacob. This is the history behind it. And so after a while, the people wound up enslaved. And Egypt believed that they had to enslave them in order to keep them from understanding who they are. After 400 years, the children of Israel had basically forgotten who their God was. They had a symbol of God, but they didn't quite know really what God was all about. It had been years. They prayed, but you know how sometimes we pray, but them kind of prayers, Lord, if you're up there, if you help me, I promise I'll go to church every Sunday. Or I won't eat meat for 2 weeks, or I won't eat chicken. I'll be a vegan for 30 days. Well, that's not quite the way it works. For 400 years, they had lost the essence of what God really was. Nowadays, it only takes about 4 years for people to lose that essence. They had lost the understanding of power. They had lost what they were. You can enslave a people when they don't know who they are. And even if they left slavery, they would still remain that way in their minds until something changed their minds. And understand, you can be enslaved by so many things. You can be enslaved by the enslavement of not believing, of being broke. You can be enslaved to poverty. You can be enslaved that you're never going to get well. You can be enslaved that you're never going to achieve. You can be enslaved to the belief that you're never going to go any further in life than you are right now. You can be enslaved to your anger. You can be enslaved to pessimism. You can, in other words, everybody's full of Nobody's going to ever help me. Nobody's going to ever do anything for me. I'm out here by myself and I'm trying to make my life work and nobody's going to help me do it. And there are people all around you trying to help you, but you never recognize it because you're enslaved to that pessimistic kind of thinking. Sometimes we're enslaved to our fears. And when you're enslaved to your fears, when you wake up every day, you're saying something's going to go wrong. Something's going to happen. That's going to take whatever I got away from me. And then by the end of the day, you know what happened to me today around 3 o'clock? It happened. I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to fail. I knew they wasn't going to pick me. I knew I wasn't going to get the job. I knew that check wouldn't come. And so one of the things that we see that God does, and when I speak of God, understand, I'm talking about that symbol. I want to help you expand your understanding of God, because you can only be blessed to the extent of the expansion of your understanding of God. If you're leaving your understanding of God as a tiny little sliver of pie, then your blessing is going to be a tiny little sliver. But as you expand your understanding, you expand the ways that God can bless you and the way you know that God can bless you. Let me explain it this way. I remember years ago when we first started in church, and this is a little business aspect of it. We were in a building, we called it 5900 all day. It's the first building we were in, and we were there about 2 or 3 years, about 2 years. And the congregation had grown from like about 50 people, and we wanted to get, a few hundred, about 100 chairs or something, so get ready for growth. And so the only building that was open was upstairs. So we looked around, we couldn't find another space. So the people who was our landlord at that particular same time said, hey, we got a space upstairs. So we said, okay, I want to go upstairs. Wasn't thinking, we were younger. We didn't think about the fact that older people might have a problem going up those stairs, Dr. Ed. But we asked them and they said, oh, we can do it, Dr. Ed, Pastor, we can do this. And so they did it. But our goal was, we were praying that we could hurry up and find something on that first floor on flat land. And so every time we thought we found it, a door slammed in our face. I was looking for an open door, and the doors kept closing in our face. Thought we had an open door here, door kept closing. 30 days left, door kept closing. 15 days, door kept, to the point that we finally went upstairs, and that was the only choice we had. And I said, Lord, every door is closed in our face. We couldn't find any other place. It wasn't but about a year and a half into that lease. The lease was nowhere near over. But the guy up underneath us had a manufacturing company. We kept hearing that noise every Sunday. And finally, he wanted the space above us. And he had the money and the cash to pay it. And so they wanted us to move. They weren't mean about it, but they said, look for another place. And so we kept looking for another place. Finally, we found a place. And it was right down there at 11230 Harwin. It was that Montessori school where we first moved to rent that building. And come to find out that the guy up underneath us wound up helping and being a part of the crew to help us to lease that space down there that we ultimately would buy. Isn't that something? So what we discovered, God expanded in my thinking. So what I noticed is every single door that was closed, my thinking expanded to understand sometimes closed doors are open doors. Just because it looks closed does not mean it's not open. Sometimes God will allow doors to close so that you can just stay right where you are. Because God is bringing the blessing to you. Whoop, I think I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you have to stay where you are and be still, because God is bringing the blessing to you. Whoo! You know, sometimes some of us move so fast that we keep missing the blessing. The blessing is trying to get to us, but every time the blessing gets close to us, we move and the blessing goes right past us. And we're wondering why we can't find it. And sometimes you just have to be aware of it and understand what the blessing looks like. And that's what God was doing with the children of Israel. He was beginning to prep their minds to understand what he was about to do in their lives. Now, don't let me forget, because I'm going to tell you what the pod is, what it means to be in that pod and getting locked up in it and not knowing how to come out of it. I'm not going, don't let me forget it. Where's my time? What is it? Okay. All right, I don't know what it is. It's somewhere over there. Okay. All right. All right. Here is what I come to understand. Oh yeah, all right. Listen, it got away from me. I couldn't see what my number was. I was getting ready to go to my break, but it's not time for my break, I don't think. Here's what I come to understand. You have to begin to realize some of the things that God is doing that is different in your life, that has never happened before. And that's what I call a pod. A pod is P-O-D, I call the point of delay. How many of you have ever been in a place, or the place of delay, not necessarily the point of delay, but the place of delay? Have ever been in a position in life where it looks like the blessing that you actually need, the miracle you need, the payment you need, we call it a blessing, we call it a miracle, we can call it the payment that you need, the rent that you need, the mortgage that you need, transportation that you need, all those things that you need seems to be in a place of delay. It seems to be just in this holding pattern. And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, it is in that holding pattern. And one of the reasons is because we are looking to other things to bless us, to pay us, to miracleize us. We're looking to other things that we think is God. But we're saying, why won't people help me? Help me? Why won't the bank help me? Why won't the finance company help me? Why won't the city help me? Why won't the state? Why won't the government? Why won't the world help me? Why won't my boyfriend help me? Why won't my husband? Why won't my wife? Why won't my ex-wife? Why won't they help me? Don't they see that I'm in trouble? And you find yourself in that place of delay. And if you're not careful, you're going to find yourself in that place of disappointment, because delay can take you to disappointment. Disappointment is expecting something and not getting it. And that's what happened with the children of Israel and Pharaoh. Pharaoh had placed himself in the position of God. And in the position of God, Pharaoh said, because I am God and because it's my gods that rule Egypt. Your gods not doing anything, whatever your gods are. Because at that particular time, they all believed in different gods. They believed in a multiplicity of gods. And the first god that they believed in was the god Isis or Katu. And that god, I think it was Osiris. Yeah, I'll get to Osiris in a minute. But that god Isis, they believed were the gods of the Nile River. So every year when the Nile River overflowed, it meant overflowing blessing. Even Israel had come to understand that. But Israel was like this. That's the Egyptians that are getting the overflowing blessing, not us. We the one that's doing the work. As a matter of fact, the Nile River was considered to be the vein or the bloodstream of the Egyptian god Osiris. And so every year, Pharaoh would go and he would bless the river, would bless the Nile and all the ponds and the streams that came out of the Nile. Well, let me tell you what God did. And this is what's going to blow your mind, how God got them out of that pod of disappointment. I'll be right back. I'm going to watch this. Hey, this is Dr. Ed. We've been on this journey for over 40 years. Some have been there with us for almost 40. Some have just started this journey with us. But what we've been able to do is help people to find joy, peace, enlightenment. They have grown tremendously, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and it's all because of your contributions, your help, our journey on this road. Take a moment, make a contribution at myalc.org. That's myalc.org. That's our website. That's our main place where you're even able to watch our show on Sunday mornings. Not only that, but you can also give through our app. And you can download that app from Google Play, or you can download it from the App Store by just typing in Abundant Life Center, or you can type in Ed Montgomery and the Abundant Life Center app will pop up and you can download it. It only takes a few moments, and you can have that way. You can carry us with you on your phone and your iPads and all those kind of good things. Not only that, but you can also do text to give. That's very popular because people are able to give if they forget to be on their, website or their app. They can just give right on the spot, real fast, real quick. Sometimes they do text to give even when we're inside of a church service. And you can do that by texting to 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. Or you could give through our P.O. Box. Safe, sound, secure. You can give, you can make sure you put a stamp on the envelope, but you can, write us a little note, drop me a little note, whatever you want to do, and mail it. There are some folk that's just, hey, I'm just going to mail this. And you can mail your contribution, and that's to the Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. I'm going to say it again. That's that old radio thing. You got to say it twice. Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. Continue on this journey with us. And if you're new for the first time, start this journey with us. I promise you, not only will it change your life, but you'll change the life of so many around you. And that'll make you feel real good inside. Thanks. Here's what God did. God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh that I said you're going to have to let the people go. Here's what Pharaoh said. This is around, actually, the reason I put up Exodus chapter 4-7 is because these are chapters. You got to read this. They're not long chapters, but you got to read it yourself. And I'm just going to tell you just what some of the highlights happened. Around chapter 5, right up at that first verse, Pharaoh asked the question, who is this God? Who? Moses said, the Lord my God. God's actually, he basically told Pharaoh, I said, let my people go. God said, let my people go. I talk to him all the time. We have conversations with him. Pharaoh said, who is he? Where does he come from? Because at that particular time, it was not a question of whether or not I believe in God. Do you believe in God? Well, yeah, Pharaoh, yeah, I believe in God. Moses, do you believe in God? Yeah. You got a God you believe in? Yeah, we have a God that I believe. No, nobody had that conversation. It was not about whether or not you believe in God. It was about whose God is God. This is why when you listen, when you read scripture, read it for how it said, what it says. God says, thou shalt have no other God before me. What is it saying? God is not saying that there are no other gods. God is saying you shall not have other gods in front of me. Huh? Are you saying there are other gods? Well, evidently, the children of Israel believed there were other gods. Egypt believed there were other gods. Pharaoh believed there were other gods. It doesn't matter whether or not there were other gods. God knew they believed it. So instead of just telling them, hey, I'm the only God in the universe, he said, cool, whatever you believe, but don't put them in front of me. See, what you begin to realize as you begin to study and understand God, you gotta come down to the level of how we see things. And as we see differently, we grow. When we see a little better or a little clearer, we grow a little more. So it's all right if people don't believe the way you want them to believe. It's all right. We all have to keep growing. So here's what God did. Pharaoh said, well, I don't believe this God you got. Do your thing. I could care less because I'm not letting anybody leave Egypt. So Moses said, okay. Looked over there at his brother Aaron. Said, put the stick in the water. That was the rod. And Aaron said, okay. And he put the stick in that rod and that staff, like a shepherd's staff, that thick staff, put it in the water. And the water turned to blood. Not just the river Nile, but the ponds, the streams, the creeks, the brooks, all the little tributaries began blood. Now, what was that blood? See, there's no need of us trying to figure it out. Listen, this is 3,000 years ago. And not only that, but you got people who are writing this story down that's going to make this story look good, because the goal is to make you believe, not to lie to you, but they're going to make sure that this story, for all you know, it could have been a time when, because it says that the fish and the wildlife that was inside of the Nile all died. The stench in Egypt was tremendous. So what you may be looking at is just the death of all the fish, everything that was in that Nile and could have turned that water to blood. It don't matter how it happened. The point is, Egypt didn't like it, and it stunk. And they believed whatever had happened, God, or this God of Moses, was involved. And Pharaoh said, hey, can you stop it? God and Moses said, sure. Went to God. God said, okay. God turned off the faucet. Then God turned on the faucet of water. The goal was this: to let Egypt know that the water, or the flow of life, did not come from Isis. It did not come from Osiris, but it came from the God of the universe. And the God of the universe was someone that they did not know yet. As a matter of fact, even Israel did not know this God's name. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob knew this God. But the name of this God that we know, Jehovah, Yahweh, had not been revealed. This I am had not been revealed yet. Goodness gracious alive. Moses was getting ready to show them a reimagined God. He was about to turn on the faucet. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Here we go. When you begin to reimagine God, the pod you're in, the place of delay, can become the place of destiny. The place of disappointment can become the place of destiny. And all it takes is you beginning to realize that the flow is not in the hands of somebody out there. I know the government got money. I know business has money. I know the rich has money. I know a whole lot of folk got money. But they also got other things happening in their lives too. I also know that wherever that is, that flow can turn at one moment. Bam! That flow can pull off of that little tributary and that flow can begin to come to you. How many of you are ready for something to flow into your life? See, if you can imagine this thing, if you can imagine a God big enough to allow the flow to begin to flow into your life, money that you've never seen, income you've never seen, a business you've never seen, friends, people coming into your life that care about you. Come on, is that a novel idea? People in your life that really care, not just about them, but they actually care, boom, about you. But if your mind is not ready to handle it, you've been so used to people not caring about you, you're pushing people away. Get out of my life. Go away. You're no good. You don't really like me. You don't care anything about me. Let them prove it to you. Come on. Sit back. Chill. Let them prove it to you. Let God prove to you the next level of your destiny. Listen, we're about to get ready to go. We're going into our building, our physical building. I believe when I say I believe, it's not just going to be a physical building. It's going to be two things. What I call in-house church and online church. It's going to be both. We're going to keep both of these going, these streams going. And we're working on our in-house building. We're working on that space and having it ready for you to be in it at the right moment, at the right time. We're not far from it. We're July, August, somewhere around in there. Who knows? But don't worry, we're going to let you know. You're going to be seeing addresses. You're going to be seeing all the different places where you need to be. You're going to see all those kind of good things. That's why you had to keep watching myalc.org. Myalc.org will tell you everything. That's our website. But if you're here, if you're watching, I want you to be a part of ALC. I want you to be a part of our vision. What is our vision? Helping you. We want to help you to define your purpose, grow your faith, and enjoy the journey. Develop your purpose, grow your faith, enjoy the journey. We want to help you do that. And all you have to do, you can go ahead and go to that 713-742-2035. This is your cell phone when you give from text to give. What it does, it'll open up your record with your name on it. We'll immediately see you at 713-742-2035. And whatever you give on that, at least opens the record, gets your information, and we're seeing, hey, you want to be a part of what we're doing. Doesn't matter whether you're living in the city of Houston, wherever you are in Texas, wherever you are in the United States. Listen, this is global. Being a part of ALC, connecting with us is global. Connect. You don't like the word join? Connect. Don't like the word connect? Gather. You don't like the word gather? Come together. But this is a time where we have to connect with each other more than ever before. Listen, I want to pray with you right where you are. I don't know the need that's in your life right now, but I know that God has a place and a purpose for you. I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, center yourself, and I want to say, Father, I thank you for my friends, for my loved ones. I speak health over sickness. I speak healing in places that are necessary. I pray strength through their bodies. For those that have gone through the transition of loved ones, I pray that you will continue not only to get stronger, but that you will lean on each other and you will find help in that time of need. Listen, your best days are ahead of you. I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it until it comes to pass. Listen, love you. We got to go. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dr. Ed. We've been on this journey for over 40 years. Some have been there with us for almost 40. Some have just started this journey with us. But what we've been able to do is help people to find joy, peace, enlightenment. They have grown tremendously, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and it's all because of your contributions, your help, our journey on this road. Take a moment. Make a contribution at myalc.org. That's myalc.org. That's our website. That's our main place where you're even able to watch our show on Sunday mornings. Not only that, but you can also give through our app. And you can download that app from Google Play, or you can download it from the App Store by just typing in Abundant Life Center, or you can type in Ed Montgomery and the Abundant Life Center app will pop up and you can download it. It only takes a few moments, and you can have that way. You can carry us with you on your phone and your iPads and all those kind of good things. Not only that, but you can also do text to give. That's very popular because people are able to give if they forget to be on their website or their app. They can just give right on the spot, real fast, real quick. Sometimes they do text to give even when we're inside of a church service. And you can do that by texting to 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. Or you could give through our P.O. Box. Safe, sound, secure. You can give, you can make sure you put a stamp on the envelope, but you can, write us a little note, drop me a little note, whatever you want to do, and mail it. There are some folk that's just, hey, I'm just going to mail this. And you can mail your contribution, and that's to the Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. I'm going to say it again. That's that old radio thing. You got to say it twice. Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. Continue on this journey with us. And if you're new for the first time, start this journey with us. I promise you, not only will it change your life, but you'll change the life of so many around you. And that'll make you feel real good inside.